Okay, let's discuss pharma. Pharma as a space hasn't been doing all that well of late, but one subsect in the pharma space is the biosimilar space, and that seems to be doing well. New launches that are coming in globally, there seems to be a lot of recognition. To discuss this space much more in detail, we're joined by the CMD of Biocon, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw. Good morning, Ms. Shaw. Thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg Quint. Firstly, a general question in terms of as an industry observer, what's the current state of the biosimilar market that you're observing across the US and the EU markets? Are there any kind of concerns that are there? What's the traction? What exactly is on the on-ground situation that you're seeing?
Well, as far as we are concerned, we are very encouraged by the kind of offtake we are seeing of biosimilars. We have basically entered the US market with the Fulphila, which is the biosimilar pegfilgrastim, and we have seen a very strong acceptance and offtake of this product, especially from various hospital formularies and HMOs, and I think this augurs very well for the subsequent biosimilars that we will be launching in the US market. As far as Europe is concerned, these are early days for us. We have just launched our biosimilar trastuzumab and biosimilar Glargine, and we will soon launch our biosimilar pegfilgrastim. And as far as we are concerned, we believe that the global demand and the health economics in general do call for biosimilars. And I think the demand for biosimilars is going to only increase. And given the fact that biosimilars is not everybody's cup of tea because of the investment needs and the gestational timelines involved in biosimilars development, we believe that there will be a handful of players with not such an aggressive competitive environment, which I think gives us a very good opportunity to deliver strong and robust and sustainable growth.
Okay. The recent trends, if you look at what's happening, is that the innovators are now being very, very aggressive as far as protect their shares from, the biosimilars that is there. You've seen Eli Lilly do it. You've seen Roche do it. Will that put in more pricing pressure on this space going ahead? And is that a concern that you're seeing at this point of time?
Obviously, these are knee-jerk reactions from the originators, but for how long can they sustain it? I don't think they can sustain it for too long because, I think biosimilars companies have a certain approach to the marketplace, and their marketing strategies will certainly be able to counter these kind of headwinds. And as far as originator companies are concerned, they are cross-subsidizing from protected markets. But once they lose protection across the globe, how long can they sustain this price dumping approach that they're trying? I don't think they can. So I think it's a matter of time before biosimilars will garner good market share. And like many analysts are predicting and projecting, I think in the next few years you will see a strong uptake of biosimilars. Some have predicted a market share of upwards of 70% in the next 3 years. And the kind of discounting that they're talking about is maybe 30 to 40%. And for companies like Biocon and Mylan, and its other partner Sandoz, I think the fact that Biocon is a vertically integrated company in terms of R&D and manufacturing augurs very well for us, because I think we have a very strong competitive advantage because of this.
You, as a first player, at least in India, in the biosimilar space, you've put in sizable investments in capacity in terms of R&D. When do you see, the actual returns coming in? Which are the key drugs that you are betting on that probably over the next 3 or 4 years will give that returns to you?
You've already seen our earnings improve over the last several quarters, and we believe that the runway ahead is also going to be very strong in terms of growth. Biosimilars have started monetizing for us, and we believe that the next few years are going to really deliver strong growth for Biocon. So I think we have started monetizing on these investments, and we will continue to monetize big time on our future investments in biosimilars as well.
Initially, there were talks in terms of, let's talk about your biologics business. Initially, there were talks of, fundraising that will happen here. There were talks that we heard that probably this will be spun off into a separate unit. There are key managerial changes also that have happened of late in Biocon. On the biologics business, what's the outlook? What's going to happen over the next few quarters?
Well, I think you've seen that to support the biosimilars business, we have offloaded some of our stock in Syngene to raise capital to address some of our capacity expansion needs. We continue to invest very heavily into developing our pipeline of biosimilars. We have clearly indicated that the biologics business will be a spun-off business in terms of first being a full-fledged subsidiary, and then we will look at taking it to the market to raise further capital. Right now we have adequate capital to back our immediate needs, but I think in the near future we will go to the capital markets and we will look at other avenues of raising capital as well, because as a company Biocon is very conservative in its debt equity ratio. So I think we are not going to be highly leveraged as a company, and we prefer to raise capital in other ways to back our business needs.
While your overseas business and your catering to the international market seems to be doing well, the India business somehow has not shaped up as as what the market probably would have wanted it to be. What's the sense? Why is this happening? What's the way ahead in the India business?
As a company, we have to look at, global market opportunities, and when we see the global market opportunities are more attractive for us, and if the Indian market looks like a commoditizing market with very stiff, competitive headwinds, where companies are doing price dumping, I think then it doesn't augur well for a company to focus on India in that way. So we basically then make sure that we look at other markets to garner growth and profitability. India, I think, can be a big market for us. I think the dynamics in India have to basically stabilize, and that's when we will start looking at an India strategy, because we are committed to providing affordable access to our biologics. And as you know, we are the only company with world-class quality because of the kind of regulatory approvals we've received from US and Europe. And the cost of developing such biosimilars is not cheap. And I think we are competing with companies who are not making those investments. So I think it is not a level playing field for us, and we don't want to compete in a marketplace which is not fair. So I just think that we will leave it to the people to, for the other players to look at the Indian market in the way they are. But as a company, Biocon wants to make sure that its value proposition looks at high quality, affordable access to these kind of biologics. We are very proud of the fact that we have played a very key role in sharply bringing down prices of these drugs. For instance, we were the first biosimilar trastuzumab to be approved anywhere in the world, and that was in India. And we did force down the prices to a quarter of what it was. And of course, other companies have then piggybacked on our approvals, and they have gone even below that. As far as our insulin and Glargine business in India is concerned, again, we've done the same. But there is a lot of capital dumping, price erosion, price commoditization, and we will watch and wait, because we are not in a hurry to do the wrong things in our own marketplace.
Okay, you spoke about Glargine. Is insulin Glargine on track for the US filing?
Absolutely, I think we are on track. As you know, we've already launched Glargine in the European market. We are in the process of launching Glargine in other regulated markets. We are already in the Japanese market. So I think the US is the big market that we hope will open up to us, over the next 12 months.
I know you already spoke about pegfilgrastim and trastuzumab. Any more light you can share as to the trajectory that you see across various geographies for these two products?
Well, these are very, very big opportunities for Biocon and Mylan, because both trastuzumab and pegfilgrastim are really large, market opportunities, both in the US and Europe, and as well as other parts of the globe. And we will be focusing on maximizing the returns from the investments we've made in developing these drugs. And as you know, we are the first companies to get US FDA approval. So we will try and maximize whatever we can to garner strong market share. We already have a very rapid uptake of Fulphila in the US market, and we hope to have the same kind of success with trastuzumab when it enters the US market later this year.
Okay, and my final question, ma'am, is that are all your plans clear of any regulatory issues by any of the foreign agencies or even the Indian agencies?
Well, we continue to have a number of regulatory inspections from all the regulators, and as you know, every one of these inspections has certainly been addressed in a very satisfactory way. I don't have any concerns. I think we are very much on top of everything that regulators have pointed out to us, and we are very confident that we will address and be regulatory compliant.
Okay, we leave it at that, Ms. Shaw. Thank you so much for speaking to Bloomberg Quint, and all the best for the quarters going ahead.
Thank you.